Right. Welcome back, Matugu. So we are proceeding with our lesson 3 for accounting 1B, and this is video B. So we were analyzing the information that we were given. Obviously, they want us to do or to compile the debtors control ledger account. So what have you been provided with? And the rest of the other information that I see given here, it's really because of the other required parts of this question where they want you to compile a debtors reconciliation statement or a data where they want you to perform a debtors reconciliation process anyways. Which is why, for instance, you've been given the list of debtors in the debtors ledger of Zilla Hardware as on when? 31 May 20.9. Dates are very important. So 31 May 20.9. These are the balances we have. I want us to see this ledger account that we need, that they want us to do. It's for which month? Just want to quickly confirm some few things. Do you see it's for June 20.9?
Yes, sir.
Prepare the debtors control for what? June 20.9. So meaning to say anything that is prior to June 20.9, the month of June 20.9, it means it will be closing balances from the previous month, but they will be used in June as opening balances. Are we together, young men?
Yes, sir.
What am I trying to explain? I'm trying to help you to understand why they've given you all of this information and where will it be used or where will it work. So if I look at this, the list of balances in the debtors ledger for Zilla as on 31 May 20.9. 31 May is the previous month, right? And so these are the balances that they had in the debtors ledger. It was 49,780.99. So this is the closing balance on the debtors ledger on the previous, in the previous month of May. So if it is the closing balance in the previous month, in the current month which we are looking at, which is the month of June, it becomes the opening balance in the debtors ledger. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
49,000, right? Then, of course, you are given, so I was just trying to make sure that you understand what you're dealing with from why is this information there and where will it go, right? So this would go to them. It would be the opening. The opening balance, obviously, in your debtors ledger account for this campaign, right? And then we've got this information over here. They say debtors journal of Zilla. So in the debtors journal, young men, notice is for this current month, meaning to say they're trying to reflect to us what we sold to our customers during the course of this month. And I want you to take cognition of the different columns that you've been given. There's this column here written debtors control. Do you see it?
Yes, sir.
This is the column of interest because it will affect your debtors ledger account. And this column total, because obviously we're doing for all of these guys, right? In the debtors journal, what do we record? We record all the sales transactions that were made on credit to customers. That's what goes in the debtors journal. So meaning to say this debtors control column, we with all these transactions and then of course totaled to 142,871. It also goes on the debtors control account, but it will be recorded as sales, of course, on the debit side of your debtors control account. Am I making sense, young men?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. And I want you to observe something. There's this column written output VAT 18,635, and then there's this sales column also with a total of 124,236.02. Now, here's the catch, young men. This amount of sales here of 124,236.02, it's excluding VAT. But this amount, so the total on the debtors control column of 142, it's including VAT inside of it. How do we prove it? It's very simple. If I take 124,236, I want you to do it. 124,236, I get 0.02 plus 18,635. 635.40. It has to give you this 142,871.42. Tell me if you're getting
Yes,
that.
sir. Yeah, I got it, sir.
You got it, right? So now
Yes.
it's very important. So because it's a VAT vendor, we have to use this column, the debtors control column, when we compile our debtors ledger account. So we're going to take this amount and we're going to put it to the debit side of our what? Of our debtors control account. This opening balance that you have, it will be put on the debit side, okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
And then, of course, I'll come back and then I'll be transferring all these details to our solution so that you can really be able to see how this whole thing work per se. All right, so I think I've explained this. So can I clear the screen? Remove these red things.
Yes, sir. No stress, sir.
Because I need to explain on the other screen what's happening. What page is this one, Matu?
This one is page. Just hold on, sir. Page 37. Yeah, 37.
All right, so I'm trying to go to page 38, and please show me which one is 38 here. I believe
It
it should
starts
be
with the
this.
debtors allowance. Yeah, that one.
Or it goes to the
38, yeah.
debtors allowance. Okay, because I want to deal with this as well and show you where that information is supposed to go. Is it fine?
Yes, sir. No stress.
Now wait. So now we are on the debtors allowance journal. So I'm going to do some analysis again, and then I'll show you which column is important and where does it go. So we're looking now at the debtors allowance journal. First of all, we need to understand, and this is for the month of June, so they're reflecting everything that took place in the current month. So young men, in the debtors allowance journal, what do we record there? What type of transactions are these? They relate to what, according to your understanding? Let me.
So it's like sales returns.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
That's what you record in the debtors allowance journal. Your column of interest is this one. Debtors control. Why? Because you're dealing with the debtors ledger, isn't it? Debtors control account. So your column of interest is this. Why? It's already including
Yes, sir.
this amount of 22,456.20 cents. It's already including VAT. Now, this amount, young men, it has to be put on the credit side of the debtors control account. Why? Because it's reducing the balance of the debtors control. Why? Because if the person returns back what they bought from us on credit, what's gonna happen to their balances? Obviously, we expect it to go down. So where does the debtors control ledger account decrease? As an asset, it decreases on which side? Debit side or credit side?
Wait, sorry, sir. Please repeat. Sorry.
So I'm saying that debtors control account being an asset, right? Where does it reduce? On the debit side or the credit side?
It doesn't reduce. So isn't it the credit side?
Are you sure?
Wait, when you mean like reduce, I'm
Mhm.
not sure what you mean.
To reduce it means to go down. Or to
Yes, yes, but I'm not understanding.
Okay. If something is said to be reduced, it means to decrease. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes.
So the question is, where does the assets decrease? Do they decrease on the debit side or do they decrease on the credit side? That ledger account debtors control, it's an asset. So will it decrease on the debit or will it decrease on the credit side? That was the question I was asking you.
Mm. So I'm thinking it's the debit side, but I'm not sure.
No, it can't be. Remember, assets they always increase on the debit side, assets. All the time. All
Okay,
the
yes, sir.
time.
So it has
Assets.
to. So sorry, sir. So it has to decrease. When it decreases, it's going to be on the credit side. If
All
it's
the time. All the time.
Okay.
all the time. All the time.
Okay.
It works that way.
Okay. Yes,
So that's why I'm saying if a customer, so remember, your debtors control is an asset. So we're saying on the debit side, this is where it increases, right? And then on
yes,
the credit side, this is where it decreases. So if a customer buys, so I'm just trying to summarize some few things for you. If a customer buys on credit, we record the transaction this side. If the customer returns what they bought from us on credit, it has to go this side. Are we making sense?
yes,
Right.
yes.
And then if we charge interest to the customer, it has to go up. It has to be recorded here, interest charged. Why? Because it could be that the customer is owing us some money they have not yet paid us for a longer time than expected. So we charge them interest. It has to be kept at this side. All right. If we offer them settlement discounts, they have to go this side. Because why? Settlement discount, it would reduce the amount we're supposed to be paid. They were supposed to pay us 1,000 rands. We discount the amount by 200 rands. So how much are we going to receive? We're only going to receive 800 rands instead.
800.
So we're
Yes,
losing how
yes.
much from that discount? We're losing 200 rands. So the
200.
discount reduces their balance. So it has to come this side. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
When the customer pays us, it reduces their balance. When the customer pays, so if the customer pays, it has to reduce their balance. So what I'm writing down, please write it down, because it will help you to remember some important things about debtors control account. So whenever customers buy, so remember it is this debtors control account, it always deals with customers. So whenever a customer buys on credit, it has to be debited. That entry has to be debited. And when we charge the interest on the customer's overdue account, we debit that. If the customer is not happy with what we bought on, with what we sold to them on credit, they return back. It has to be credited. When we offer them settlement discounts, obviously, it has to be credited as well. When they pay for whatever they are owing us, it also has to be credited. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes.
Something like that. What I'm showing you, this is the secret about debtors control.
Yes, sir.
So please write this thing down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then now, so I want to clear it up so that I continue analyzing this for you. So in the debtors allowance journal, what is your focus? It is the debtors control column, and you look at the total balance. That's the amount you're going to take, and you put it on the credit side of your debtors control account. And this amount in the debtors allowance, it relates to this, to the sales returns. Sales returns. Are we together, young men?
Yes, sir.
And then if you go to your cash book receipts, young men, notice it's also for the month of what? Month of June. I want you to observe there is a column there, a written debtors control column. Do you see it?
Yes, yes.
Your interest amount, the amount of interest is this one from that column. Now, what is happening in the cash book receipts? We are receiving money, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if it relates to a customer, if we are receiving money and it relates to a customer, so what do we expect? According to the debtors general control, the debtors control account here. If the customer pays, where does it go? The debit side or the credit side, according to what I've shown you here?
It goes to the debit side, sir.
No.
If a customer pays or
Yeah, if
buys.
the customer pays, sorry.
Oh, yes, yes. So it goes to the credit side.
Goes to the credit side. So it is this one. Does it make sense?
Oh, okay.
You get the logic, right?
Yes.
That's why I said write this thing down. This thing will help you a lot. Because
So
it doesn't.
on the debit side, it's buys and then interest charged.
Yeah. So whenever the customer buys on credit and we charge them interest on the overdue account, it increases their debtors control balance.
Okay, sir. Yes.
You see, and then another thing I'm going to show you. Still with this summary, I wanted to show you which journals do you look for to get this information when the customer buys, to get the information when the customer is charged interest, to get the information when the customer returns, when you offer them discounts, when they pay. You know, I wanted to show you where you get that information, which is very simple. Ideally, when the customer buys, young man, it means you sold on credit, isn't it, to the customer? So what journal is this relating to? It has to do with the debtors journal that we started with earlier. Are we together?
Yes, yes.
When we charge the customer interest, young men, it relates to the general journal. General journal. I'm just going to use abbreviations. So the interest charged, you're going to find it in here. The interest charge on an overdue account. I'll show it to you just now. Are we together? Same thing with the settlement discount. You also find it mostly in the general, or sometimes in the cash book. No, it's usually the general journal. And then when the customer pays it, you find that information in the cash receipts journal. When the customer returns goods that they were not satisfied with, it comes from the debtors allowance journal. Am I making sense, Matugu?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you know this, young man, it makes you understand the debtors the debtors control account. Easy, easy. Why? Because I've shown you what causes the debtors control to increase. It's when the customer buys on credit. And where do we get the info? In the debtors journal. When we charge them interest on their overdue account, where do we get the information? General journal. When the customer, then what decreases the debtors control account? It's obviously on the credit side. So it will be when the customer returns some goods because they were not happy with them, and then we get that information from the debtors allowance journal. And then we can offer discounts to the customer. Where do you get the information? In the general journal? You're going to see it just somewhere here, just now. And then, of course, when the customer pays us, where do we get the info? In the cash book receipts journal. And in this column, there you have it. That's your debtors control account. Are we together?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
So now, but let's continue because I want us to look at the the general journal now. So look at the first transaction on the 11. They've debited sales, right? And then they've credited what? Debtors control. Can you see there? And then there's a narration. There's a narration that they gave you. What was this for? A settlement discount of 5%. That is this one here. Do you see this? It is exactly this.
Yes, yes.
It is exactly this. Where is it coming from? General journal. So they would always tell you if there's a settlement discount, you always be told specifically that this transaction relates to the settlement discount. So you know, oh, that's going to reduce my debtors control account. You see it?
Okay, yes, sir.
Then I can't see this other transaction here clearly. This one.
Oh, let me just.
Yeah, because I wanted to see, it could be maybe the one that relates to this one, the interest charged on the overdue account.
Yeah, so I'm just sending it now.
Okay. Not a problem. Oh, another thing that I forgot, and this will be the last one on this one. Credit losses. because it's not all the time when a customer will be able to pay, okay? Sometimes they can fail to pay because of several other reasons. So when the customer fails to pay, it will be regarded as credit losses, so it will reduce their balance and we just write off the account. It comes here on the credit side of the debtors control account. So, but where do you get the info? In the general? In the general. And that is, I think, this transaction 47. General 47 that you have there. So I want us to read it before I go to the next page. Because the moment I shift pages, these things will be deleted.
Yes,
I wanted
yes.
to make sure that I'm done with it. So do you see that they said amount written off as irrecoverable? Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Now, also it's important to understand, okay, so what amount am I taking from this journal? For instance, with the settlement discount, young man, you'll be taking anything written debtors control. This is what you take. As far as the settlement discount is concerned, that 1,861.81, that's what you put on the credit side of that debtors control account. And then you come here. Okay, so there was an error somewhere that took place here. So this obviously, it has to, okay. All right. Okay, this is an error because of course you are doing the correction. But you see, with errors, it can come either on this side or that side. It depends with what happened. But when I'm looking at this, the debtors control was credited, meaning to say it's going to be reduced, but it is as a result of an error. Are we together, young man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this amount of 36,738.35 or 36, it comes here. It comes to the debit side. I mean, to the credit side, my apologies, right? And then I want to look at the other last transactions that you've given me. After page 38, what's on page 39? Because now I wanted us to open a Word document so we can answer the question.
So it's the rest. It's the rest of the general journal.
Oh, okay. Let me
There's like
see
two
the other
more.
ones.
There's two more.
Let's see the other one. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the one on page 39 currently.
Yes.
Do you see the interest on overdue account that I was talking about of 12% for 302.67?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So where does it go according to this analysis here? The interest
It was
overdue,
on
where
the
does
debit side. So.
exactly goes here on the debit
Okay.
side. So as I'm explaining these things, make sure that you'll be indicating also on those journals to say this amount goes to the debit side or this amount goes to the credit side of the debtors control account. And then the last one.
So it's the interest received.
Yeah.
So
If you are reversing it, it has to, and notice is the debtors control debited or credited there according to that journal?
it's credited.
Yeah. So that interest overdue, you're going to record it here. But what the other journal is telling you, you're reversing it. So you have to record it again here. So the main reason of recording it is on the other side, you're taking it out. It's like you're reversing what you had done. So you debited, so to reverse, you do the opposite of debiting, which is to credit.
Okay.
And then additional info, what are they saying?
Zilla Hardware received a bank statement on the 30th June 2019. The following entries appeared on the bank statement. H. Horner had deposited the amount owing directly into the bank account on 30 June 2019.
Okay, do we have the bank statement somewhere? But you see
Isn't it
that
the
CRJ? Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. That's the on the last one.
Exactly. So that young man, but obviously would have already accounted for it here. You see, as part of the payment from the CRJ. So which is fine. The only reason why it is there is because of question. You see, and on the required part. Okay, now can I remove this analysis now?
Yes.
All right. So because I want to try to move around these pages so you can see what's going on. So let me also try to close this one. So if you go back to the sorry, I'm trying to see which page is which here now, so I'm not lost. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. You see, there's another question where they say prepare the debtors ledger, including the debtors list on 30 June. But you see, the first question was saying prepare the debtors control account for June in the general ledger of Zilla Hardware. The account must be properly balanced and reconciled with the total of the debtors list. Okay, no problem. But you see, when they ask you to prepare the debtors ledger, including the debtors list, now the debtors ledger here, it's not going to be the same as the first one. It will be different, but I'll show you. But for now, I want us to address the first one because that's where your question of interest was. So I want to try and deal with that particular aspect. So to do this, young man, I want to switch screens now so that I can show you the Word document. So I'm just going to open a Word document so that we can do our analysis. If you can just afford me a moment to do that.
Okay, sir.
So I'm opening the Word document here. It's question what that we're doing?
1.1. I mean 2.1.
Okay. No problem. All right, so we welcome to video B of our first accounting lesson. Sorry. So something's playing on the background, eh? Is it on my side? Now I think you have.
Yeah, I think it's on your side. So.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right, no, it's fine. It's corrected now.
Okay.
Is this. Right, so we're looking at question 2.1, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see. Question 2.1, and that is the debtors control. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So this would be the debit side, obviously. And then okay. I don't know why it's not allowing me to, but it's fine. Let me just do that and then okay, something like this. And then we insert the table. I'm just going to use 2 columns. Wait. Okay, so the date column, details column, yeah, amount column, and then date column, details column, and then amount column. For now, I'm just gonna have to use these ones like this for now.
Okay, sir.
So obviously, this first column is for your date. And this is for the details, and then this is the amount. Let me just indicate it accordingly, okay? So that's the date, that's the details, that's the amount column. Date column, details column, and then of course the amount. Okay, maybe we might need folio as well, but it's not really as necessary, but let me just put it. So this is your folio. This is like basically where you'll be indicating whether it's balance carried down, what journal it's coming from, and all that jazz. That's what folio is all about.
Sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Ooh, so there we have it. And we can just make this to be bold. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we've designed our data control account. So the first thing you're gonna have, young man, on the 1st of June, you would have your balance brought down, which is the opening balance of your data control account. And this one, remember, where did I say it's coming from?
The balance, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming from the debtors ledger. I mean, sorry. The balance. Yeah, so it's coming from the debtors ledger.
Debtors ledger.
The balance, the opening balance, the balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one on page 37.
That's correct.
2.1.
Yeah. It's called list of balances in the debtors ledger. That's what I was waiting to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm looking at. So what amount
Yes.
are we plugging in? There's the opening balance.
It's the 49,780.
Exactly.
99 cents.
49,780 point what? 0.99 cents.
0.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you plug in there. Then the other thing I want us to insert, obviously, it's interest on overdue account. And then, of course, there's sales that we need to also bring in and stuff like that. So this is coming from the general journal. Sales is coming from the debtors journal. Okay, can I do it sequentially so that I don't confuse you, ne?
Yes, no stress.
Yeah, I think it's much better. So from the debtors list, then the next thing that follows is what? It's the debtors journal, right?
Yes.
And from there we simply take sales, and then we call this will be obviously denoted as DJ. Now let's connect again briefly for video C so that we can complete this question, because we're left with a minute now in video B, so it might just cut anytime.
Okay, no problem.
Away.